Hey there! So today I'm going to make for you my beef curry that I do on the Ozpig in my camp oven. So I thought you'd like to see how it is put together. It is absolutely delicious. I've never been really one to be able to make a good curry, but when I made this recipe everybody absolutely loves it, and it's just brilliant. So do yourself a favour and give this one a go if you like a curry. So the first few things that I do is I've got my camp oven here, and I've just prepared all my chopped vegetables already for the purpose of this exercise. So in the pan I just pop a bit of olive oil, good decent splash. I'm not really big on measurements. So in the background here I've had the pig going and set up. It's got the coals. I like to cook with the coals again because it gives it a nice even consistent heat. If you have a lot of coals already in your pig, you could still, or if you've got a campfire going somewhere, you could steal coals out of the campfire and just pop them on and use that. But again, like I said, this is going to cook for a minimum of 4 hours to make sure that it's nice and tender. I have tried this, even though there's not a lot of meat in the recipe that I do, I have tried this for a little bit less, and the meat just is a little bit chewy at about the 3 hour mark. So it really needs to go for a minimum of the 4 hour mark to get the meat nice and tender and melt in your mouth. So I've got the pig ready over here. Now what I like to do as well is first brown off the meat, and I've just got some beef cubes here. If you prefer a different type of protein like lamb, you could probably do goat if you're into that sort of thing. But what is important with the meat is I have pre-floured it, and that's really important step to do because later on down the track it'll actually serve to thicken your sauce for you when everything's done. So don't neglect to pre-flour your meat. So I'm going to pop the camp oven on top of the coals directly and just brown the meat off very, very quickly. And actually, before I do that, I did forget one step. I haven't made this for a while, and it's kind of in my head. I've tweaked it a little bit as time goes on. So my first step, before I put the meat in, is to get my curries into the pan and just a really quick stir through, get them nice and fragrant, and then I'll very quickly pop the meat into the pan as well. Because it's so hot on top of these coals, I don't want things to start to burn off, so it's just for the purpose of the exercise to really brown things off and get things actually cooking. So before I also pop these in, I'll show you what I've got here. So I've just got a green curry paste that I use. This is one that I got from Aldi's, any supermarket you can get your curry paste from, but I use the green curry paste and I use the red curry paste. So I do a combination of the red and the green. So those are the first two things that are going to go into the pot as I put it on and get it ready. So I'm just gathering all my bits and pieces. So we come over to here, just set it on top of your coals like so, and you'll see that it'll get so super hot really, really quickly. So first of all, I take a really good tablespoonful of the red curry, pop that in, and then exactly the same with the green, really good tablespoonful, and a little bit. So you can hear how quick that's going. So really, all I'm doing is just mixing those pastes in, just to release the aromatics in the paste. Like I said, this part needs to be really quick so it doesn't burn.
It smells so good.
I know, it smells so good already. Like literally about 30 seconds is all that bit takes, because it just needs to release the fragrances. Alright, so now you throw your beef into the pot and all sort of stuck together at the moment. I'm going to just throw a little bit more oil in to try and help loosen up that beef a little bit. So again, I'm just mixing that through, trying to break up that meat a little bit. It will, as the curry cooks, it will just break up and sort of break down, I should say, a bit more and spread out, especially as some of the sauces go in. There's lots of stirring during this process of checking and stirring, so you know, you can avoid some of the burning. If you do get any of the sticky parts, again, don't worry too much, because that will just add to the flavour as it cooks through in your pot. So you can have a look in and see if it doesn't get too steamy in there. Like, it's only just lightly browning the meat on the outside and sealing for a little bit. Smells so good already, it does. All right, so now we've got the meat in. I'm going to throw the veggies in, and what I've done is I've quite chunkily chopped the vegetables, simply because, like I said, this is going to be cooking for 4 hours, and I don't want them to break down so much that I would like to have a little bit of integrity left in the vegetable at the end of the dish. So it's quite chunky. You can use whatever vegetables you like. I generally use whatever I've got available at the time. So today I'm putting in some mushrooms, some red capsicum, some pumpkin, onion, and I had a whole heap of bag of peeled garlic, so cloves. So I've chopped a few of those and thrown that in too for a little bit of extra flavour. So it really depends on what you like in your vegetables and your curry. That's generally, as a rule, that's the sort of vegetables I use when I'm cooking my curry. Sometimes, if you like potato, you can put a bit of potato in as well. Yeah, it's just whatever you like to your taste. So we just give that a really good mix through, help sort of give it a little bit of a head start to the cooking process. And make sure everything's nice and well coated with the curry. Oh gosh, the smell is divine already. Alright, so it's very well mixed now. So then what I do is I throw in a tin of diced tomatoes. So this will form the base of your sauce. And a tin, I use the light coconut cream. Now the other ingredient that is an optional extra is fish sauce, a tablespoon of fish sauce, if you have it. I've always made it with the fish sauce. I've just looked in the cupboard and realised we're actually out of it. So you don't have to add it if you don't want to. But yeah, today I will find out what it's like without the fish sauce. But yeah, no big deal. Yeah, so everything is quite chunky, as you can see at the moment, and that's really good because at the end of the dish you'll see that the vegetables will hold most of their shape still, which is good. They won't shrink down into nothingness, which is the way I like it anyway. So you can see, give it a really good mix while it's sitting on top, like so. And now what you want to do is pop your lid of your camp oven on the top. So make sure I haven't made that too hot. No, I haven't. Okay. So on the side of the pig, I've got the nice big plate here. So I'm going to sit it down just beside it, just so that it's just touching. And I'm going to transfer a few of these heat beads that are already hot, the hot coals, onto the top. So that's going to cook from both the top and the sides from the pig as well. So what you'll need to keep your eye on the whole time, as you would if you were using your camp oven on a normal campfire, is keep your fire nice and stoked inside of your pig at all times. And a pretty good reasonable fire as well, because if you let it go down, of course, it's not going to cook. It's too big, that piece. I'll have to find a smaller piece for the pig. So, yeah, just make sure that you keep the fire up inside the pig at all times during the cooking process. And having the heat beads on top as well, like I said, is going to help just keep everything cooking along nicely. If you don't have the heat bead basket, or you don't want to, you're out camping, you don't want to travel around with coals, like I said, if you've got a separate fire going somewhere, just steal some of the coals off the fire that way. Alright. And that's basically it at the moment. So, like, have a rough look at the time. We're going to be eating quite late tonight because I didn't get this on until quite late, but that's alright. Like I said, I'll let this go for about 4 hours. During the cooking process, I'm going to continually just every now and again, maybe every half an hour, just slightly turn the camp oven around as we go so that it's not burning on any side. And just before I give it a slight turn each time, I'm just going to lift the lid quickly, give it a mix as well, make sure nothing's sticking into the camp oven. And that'll be it. I might come back to this during the cooking process just so you can see what's going on, but I look forward to showing you what it's like at the other end. I'll see you after.
See y'all.
We're partway through the cooking process at the moment for my beef curry on the Ozpig, and it's time to give it another stir. So I just wanted to show you all what it looks like at the moment. It's still got about an hour and a half of cooking time left, but it smells absolutely incredible so far. So if you come over here, we'll show you what it's like. So you can see I've got a nice steady pace on the pig too. The cook. I'm just going to pop this down onto my lid holder. Alright, so you can see here this is being stirred probably about 3 times so far. This is the 4th time at the moment. Just give it a nice good stir. Make sure you scrape the bottom of the pot. Nothing sticking in here, but just in case it does, you want to get all that goodness into your food. Oh, that's looking really, really good so far. Don't be tempted, as I said, to try and eat it early because the meat will be tough. You really want to give it that minimum 4-hour cooking process, and then the fluids reduce down that little bit more too, making it a really nice. You can see already why you don't scrimp the, if you can see through the smoke, why you don't scrimp on the flour process, because the sauce is thickening slowly. This has already also been rotated several times just on this pan here, like I said before, so it doesn't burn on one side because it gets really, really hot in there. And that's all you need to do. You pop your lid back on. Don't really need to replenish those heat beads on top because we've still got so much heat coming from the pig itself at the moment, and it's cooking well. So now what we're achieving is like a slow cooker process, which is exactly what you want. And we'll just leave that sit there now until it's time to give it another little rotate, and we'll come back at the very end, and I can't wait to show you what it actually looks like. So the beef curry has finally finished cooking and is almost ready to dish up. I've just got it sitting down on the ground next to the pig and just resting for a little bit while I finish off and do my final part of this meal. I've already in the meantime gone and made my own tzatziki to go with the actual curry as well, and just spoon some of that on, which makes it just a really beautiful addition. Yes, you can buy a tzatziki if you want to cheat and can't be bothered, but I love to make my own. It's just so simple with a bit of Greek yogurt, natural Greek yogurt. I shave a little bit of cucumber, and I've just minced a couple of garlic cloves and just given that a bit of a mix up, and it's absolutely delicious. So if you can be bothered and just a couple of extra steps, make your own. It's worth it. So the last step into tonight's dinner is I'm just going to warm up these garlic naan that I have just cheated and bought from Aldi's. I assume you can probably get some similar things from the fresh department in most supermarkets. You can get plain ones if you like. We like the garlic ones, so that's what we're going with. This is a 2-pack. So I'm just going to grab these out. And I've put the little hot plate over the top of the pig at the moment. And this really does not need to sit on here for long because obviously this is cooked. All we want to do is basically warm this up. Now, while that is just warming on one side, I'll show you here. We've got a wok, which is an accessory that you can get, a pig accessory, or you can buy these individually as well. Now, not only is the wok fantastic for just obvious reasons when you're cooking on the pig and you want to use a wok, but this comes really into its own, and this is what we actually got this for, is it creates a fantastic little like an oven. So it helps to keep things nice and warm on top when you're putting it on your side plate next to your pig while you're just cooking off anything like the naans. Case in point, I often use this as well when I want to rest my meat. So I finish cooking it on the main section of the pig, and then I just pop it onto the side plate with this on top, and oh, it's just perfect. It just keeps it nice and warm. So the pan is sitting there ready and waiting. Like I said, we don't need to cook these naans. We just want to, I haven't got the right tongs here, so we just want to warm them, that's all. Yeah, that's beautiful. So we're just going to finish off doing that. Then I'm going to take it all in, prep it up, and I will show you a picture at the very end of what it all looks like. Give it a go. I'd love to hear in your comments what you think of the recipe and how you found it. But yeah, absolutely one of our favourites, and I hope it becomes one of yours too. Thanks for watching, guys.